Rock and roll may live forever, but we only retire once. Kevin Lamour of Our Financial Plans and Quadris Investment Services offers a large range of financial solutions from some of the biggest leaders in the investment and insurance landscape of Canada. See how a solid financial plan built with friendly and professional advice can help. Find out more at ourfinancialplans.ca or give them a call at 705-949-1316. And welcome to another episode of the Lonesome Cowboy podcast. And today I have a gentleman on the line. We've also had an episode with his wife, Tara Dunphy, and this here is Tom Dunphy, which Tara might say is her better half.
Well, one thing Tara would say is that her name isn't Tara, it's Tara.
Tara, sorry. Damn.
I'm sure that came up when you were speaking with her.
Oh, it did, and I blew it a couple of times, and I had to apologize. Damn, I keep forgetting that. You know what? And I got a great mnemonic device to remember it too. I just think of Olivia de Havilland in Gone with the Wind.
There you go.
Oh, Tara, I've come home.
We actually just watched Gone with the Wind for the very first time last year, believe it or not.
That's a sit down, for 4 hours worth. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you've been in bands with your wife. You for a couple. You've been performing together probably for as long as you've been married, and then probably before.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Any challenges? I know I perform with my wife, and we have had our moments. Any challenges?
Yeah, there are a number of challenges, but I think it's mostly for us has always been in the songwriting.
Oh, okay.
When something is so close to your heart, and like both of us, words are really important. Music too, obviously, and then it can even be like the smallest detail in a lyric that can drive either of us crazy, but one of us eventually has to give in. So that's the hardest thing. There's a back and forth when it comes to songwriting. Other than that, it's been pretty straightforward and great. And that's a good, contentious relationship, like Lennon-McCartney kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. I had one of those moments about 2 weeks ago, and I had written a new song, and my wife she'd stop me and she goes, or I'd finish it, and then I'd say, so? And she went, okay. The second line. And she's got her degree in music, and she's a vocalist. So,
okay.
Yeah, she goes.
I always find like writing songs it's great. It's a wonderful thing, but the hard part is letting people hear them.
Yeah. And she gave me good advice, and I had to admit, okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. I got worried when I started Googling you, Tom, because the first thing that came up near the top was an obituary for a Tom Dunphy, who was a politician. And then
there's a Canadian politician, but actually there's a much more famous Tom Dunphy in Ireland. He was an Irish country singer. And the funny thing is, when I first met Tara's parents, they're from Dublin.
Oh, cool.
She was very familiar with Tom Dunphy from back in her younger days, and they would travel all over the area to watch Tom Dunphy play with the Royal Show Band. And it's a funny thing, a small world.
And that's great, because I was going to say, now the other one I found was a Tom Dunphy. I hope it's no relation.
Yeah, no relation to me.
No relation, but a connection.
Not that I'm aware of, anyway.
Yeah, no relation, but a connection, anyways.
Yeah.
So tell me about the solo album, Tom. Is this like a first for you?
It's a first solo album. So, I've been writing songs forever.
Sure.
Before Tara and I got together with the Rizdales, I had a honky-tonk band here in London, Ontario called the Juke Joint Johnnies. And we released a record near the end of the 90s, which was a split between original songs and country music covers. Some of those songs from that record I reinvented for this solo record that I just released back in April.
Nice. That's really good. And is there any plans to take that out on the road at all, Tom? And
well, planning changed once COVID happened. And I mean, I know we're not there anymore, but the few years there that happened, we kind of just decided we're just going to stay home and do shows here locally. And that's what I've been doing. And I always said, until there's new material or reason to go out there, that's what I'd be doing. But now that I had this, I've done a couple of shows with the players who are on the record, and we're in the process of scheduling more. They're actually coming down to London in a couple of weeks to do a show with me here.
Right, exactly. Now you guys have a lot of projects on the go. I think it's just fantastic. I mean, you got your
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Tom's
if you
classic
have the
country.
music in you, you
Yeah.
got to get it out of you.
Yeah, I mean, what you got Tom's classic country, I think that's
Yeah.
what it was. I thought that
Yeah,
was
classic country
fantastic.
music show. That's just a thing that I do once a month with some great players, just to play all the old country songs that we love.
And you get to slap on that bull bass, don't you?
I do. Yeah, I play.
And
I enjoy that. I love the physical relationship, that a player has with the upright bass. I've always, been intrigued by that. So I've been playing for about 15 years now, and I played
right,
on the record too.
right. We got a guy here from Sault Ste. Marie who's a bass player. He was in Calgary, but now he lives in Nashville. Shane, that's terrible. I can't. Anyways, Shane is a double
I've
bass
heard of
player.
Shane.
Shane Chisholm. Oh my God, there it is.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
my brain is cheese. Anyways, Shane Chisholm, and he plays
Oh
a.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know that name.
There
Sure.
you go. He's got the big gas tank bass,
Yeah, yeah.
and he made it from the gas tank from a Ford
That's great.
minivan.
Really. Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome. That double bass. Now, were you a bass player before, Tom? Like,
I've had a bass. I wasn't a bass player, and I still don't even consider myself a bass player. I get by. I mean, when it comes to country music, like bluegrass, that sort of thing, I have no problems finding my way around. I do not have a jazz mind in any way or form. Tara can handle that stuff. It's just
oh
not my
yeah.
thing. I'm a three chords kind of guy. 1/5 on the bass, and that's all I really need.
I like the way you said about that double bass. You said it was a physical relationship.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
just, I mean, it's like you're dancing with it the entire show, more or less.
yeah, exactly. None of the fancy stuff, like laying it on its side and standing up
Well,
there and
I
stuff.
do slap it, but I would be a little concerned about trying to climb up on top of it. I'll leave that to other more agile people.
Yeah, I know, because at our age, right, you just wondered if you're going to get back up again. That's the big trick, isn't it?
You never know.
Yeah, exactly. Um, the Rizdales have a few albums out, but there hasn't been an album since 2018. And I noticed you did have a
We keep
single.
talking about it. We keep
Yeah,
talking about it, but I think the side projects are sort of satisfying the need for that right now. Tara and I talk about it, but we just need to do our training so we'll be ready for that relationship when it comes to songwriting and all that. We've worked on a couple things together, but we're hoping within the next year or two we'll get back together and put a proper Rizdales record.
hmm Now, you've been a full-time musician for a number of years. And,
I am not a full-time musician.
oh, really?
No, no, I have a background in architecture and engineering.
No kidding.
I play music a lot, and because I've been doing the other side of things long enough, it affords me the time to play if I want to. But
Excellent.
it was important to me that we were able to pay the bills, and so Tara, being the real musician in the couple, she does it full time.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Um, if you were a musician that was of the wanted to go full time
yeah,
period,
yeah.
considering what the music business beast is nowadays, would you jump right into that full time, or would you have a plan that maybe you would even pass on to somebody who's in starting out?
Well, we have our children, our son, both of our children, but our son is a guitar player, young, 18 years old.
Nice.
He's
Yeah.
currently at the MIA program at Fanshawe, and so he's going to be there. He's the second year next year, and he has talent, and I think if he were to really apply himself, he could do something. But there is the practical approach to it, because living life these days, especially, is insanely expensive, and I don't think musicians are being paid any more than they were 10 years ago, and so it's
10.
tough. Yeah, well, I know. I'm being
30.
kind. I'm being kind. So
Yeah.
maybe if I were younger, sure I would. Now with sort of a wider understanding of the world, probably not.
Now, I was interested. I was reading an interview with
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
and you said you rarely write a song with a guitar in your hand.
That is a relatively new thing. That's probably about 10 years now. I
Okay.
love to clear my head. I love to just spend time standing by the campfire staring into the flames. with no plan while I'm doing it. But that just seems to be where the ideas come from.
Interesting.
And as I pretty much write only country based songs, really. So you can have an idea of that format in your head. And a lot of times, so I'll hum a tune,
Hmm.
or an idea will come to me, and then it tends to get fully realized there before I actually sit down with the guitar.
Yeah.
It has worked out lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I spoke to Sylvia Tyson,
Yeah.
that's the way she said she writes.
Oh, I had no idea.
And she walks when she does it. And
Yeah.
my big thing was, so like what if you forget? And when you go to write it down, you forget. She goes, then it wasn't any very good, was it?
And I've heard that before too. And I sort of, I think I agree with that. I'll
Yeah.
have ideas that I think are wonderful at the time. And if they leave me, I think, well, I was wrong.
Yeah. It's interesting when I was also reading that you said you wanted to make an album without a drummer. And
Yes.
I am a big fan of that kind of sound, probably
Okay.
because I can't find a drummer that wants to haul around with me either. Um, what's the appeal for you, Tom, of a drummerless record?
Well, there's something, and I don't believe that I achieved it with my record, but there's a music that I often look to or look for that isn't. It's not abrasive. It's not jarring. It's simple. It's easy on the ears. You can listen to it on a Sunday morning, headphones in the car, whatever. I don't even know if that makes sense.
Hmm.
And a good example of it for me is T-Bone Burnett's self-titled album, T-Bone Burnett. Now he's using all acoustic instruments on that, but there are no drums. And I covered one of those songs on my record called
Hmm.
"Song to a White Man," and there's just I don't know. There's something comforting, and no offense to any drummers out there because I play with them all the time, or calming to have just the acoustic, the rhythm instruments carrying, and the vocal and the melody carrying the song without the need to remind everybody what the meter is.
Yeah, exactly. Um, Speaking again of the classic country,
Yeah,
um, country music, back in the 90s when it had its big start in their heydays, the one thing I noticed was is that they weren't really like you didn't have a classic country radio station, but you had classic rock stations. And it was
sure.
almost like country music was like, okay, we're done with you, go away. And then we have
Yeah,
something new. Now there's
yeah,
this big resurgence coming back again because, I mean, there's the Plowboys. I've interviewed Scott from them in the Ottawa area, and then there's the Honky Tonk Ramblers in the States,
yeah.
and there's all kinds of those artists. What do you?
Countryside of Harmonica Sam. Do you know them out of Sweden?
No, I'm gonna have to look into it though.
Oh, they're great. They're like purists. Like it's
Oh yeah,
crazy. They dress but the music is fantastic. It's like it's the era, like Hank Williams era country music, and they dress the part too.
and
It's a
say that
great.
again. I'm going to write it
The
down.
countryside of Harmonica Sam.
The Countryside of Harmonica Sam. That's a big name for a band.
It is.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, there, my shorthand that I have. So, what the resurgence of this kind of stuff? Why? What's happening? It's
Uh,
crazy.
I think it's just a cyclical thing. I think it just happens for whatever reason. It's maybe in a way a reaction to what is considered a problem that I have, and it's not a problem because I mean to each his own. But the fact that country music uh, it has been called country music throughout the ages, and yet the music is not the same.
Yeah,
So it's
exactly.
almost I feel like okay, well now call it this or call it that because I've encountered many people who when I tell them I play country music, and they're like, "Oh, I love whoever the current hot artist is on the charts right now." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh, no, no, not that kind of country music." And it's having to explain yourself all the time, when there was a time where you didn't need to.
yeah,
So I
exactly.
don't know, but I'm just glad. I'm really glad it's happening.
Yeah, yeah. It does. It- yeah, because when you say country music today, it does age you. Because I remember we were talking to coworkers of my wife's, and nice young ladies in their mid 20s, and
Yeah.
we mentioned a name, Stephen Bishop.
Okay.
They had no idea who the man was.
And you know what? They're not expected to. That's
Yeah,
that's the way
exactly.
I look at
Yeah.
it,
But the cool part about it is you can kind of say, well, you know what? it's really cool music. You should go listen to it. And
That's
then,
right.
then
And
that's,
we're fortunate. I have a son who's 18 years old, so
yeah,
we get everything from him. So he's a heavy metal fan. He can shred, like Pantera licks and all that stuff.
cool.
But he also, we're not forcing our kids to listen to our music. They can, do what they want.
Of course.
But he's become a huge Johnny Cash fan. As far as contemporary country, Coulter Wall is like one of his all-time favorites. So
Ah, yes.
he's come to it on his own. So I think the people that were meant to hear it will find it if they need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when's the Dunphy family band starting?
Oh, well,
Yeah, is your other child
yeah.
involved?
Both our kids went to like music schools, so
Cool.
they went to school to learn how to play the violin, and they can read vocal music as well. So they have that. They're
Cool.
not interested in the classical side of things now, but they both are wonderful singers. They both can, like, our daughter plays piano and she's learning to play guitar. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Dunphys will be like the next Osmonds. There's a reference some people
Don't wear
won't
the
get.
jumps. Just don't wear the jumpsuit suits,
No,
whatever you do, please.
unless it comes in style again, and we will.
Yeah, that's yes. Music and fashion, cyclical, right?
It
They
is
just
true. It
and
is true.
that's something I never even thought about,
Yeah.
saying um but I mean, you guys really must have a juggling issue. It's got to be like because you got Maggie's Wake and you got the Rizdales. Haven't even talked about the Rizdales yet, and then you got your
Yeah.
solo album, then you got your classic country music
Yeah.
show, and I'm sure Tara's doing her own thing too. She plays
She
in
was
the
she was just in
homes and stuff like
Ottawa
that.
yesterday for a show with Maggie's Wake. Yeah, so she's
Nice.
back today, and then she's off playing somewhere right now. And yeah, she's very busy. We're busy, but it's not work if you enjoy it. So
Yeah.
that's the way it is. I mean, otherwise we wouldn't be doing it. So
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's admirable that you folks
yeah.
pull this off, and it's inspirational, but I think if I tried to dive in it like that with all these projects, I'd probably just fall down and say, okay, I'm done.
Give it a go. You never know.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's what you need to stand up.
Thank you. Well said. The musicians that you play with in your classic country music show, are any of those guys showing up on those albums at all?
Not on this record. We have a guy who's like well known in Ontario, at least, Doug Dietrich, who plays pedal steel. Pedal steel, I often say, is my favorite instrument of all time, and because it is. But for this particular record, I wanted just straight steel, lap steel. Doug, who plays with me in that band, he doesn't do that. And Burke Carroll, who plays lap steel on the record, actually has an instrumental Hawaiian steel band in Toronto called the Hooligoons. And so I knew Burke could do it, and so I reached out to him, and because he's played on Rizdales records before, I knew he'd do a wonderful job, and he did. Yeah. So no, the guys in London aren't on this record. Didn't need a drummer, so Carl, that's why you're not on it, but he already exists. But also, I picked guys. It's only 3 guys on the record. It's just me, Burke on steel, and Steve Briggs on guitar, and I play upright and guitar.
Yeah.
And I went with Steve Briggs because I've been a fan of his for a long, long time. He's currently, his main gig is with Russell DeCarl.
Oh, yeah.
Been playing with Russell for a long, long time now.
Yeah.
And also remember him from his days in the Brothers Cosmoline and the Bebop Cowboys. And he's got a real sort of melodic touch to his playing that I wanted on the record. So the guys I have on the record are the guys that could fulfill the sound I had in my mind, I guess.
Yeah. I was chatting with those guys at the FMO conference last year, Russell and his band, the 3-piece guys. So I probably bumped into your bass player, right?
Well, guitar player. I'm the bass
Guitar
player.
player,
You're
sorry.
bumping into him right now.
The guitar player. Yeah. So here's the big question, and this is how we'll kind of close things out.
Sure.
And because I do specialize in people who are DIY artists, you handle it all,
Yes.
because I don't think the ones who have made it can offer us any kind of advice, believe it or not.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So, in that respect, can you pass on any words of advice to those that are trying to make a living at the music business right now and, begging for shows, playing for crap money? What are you going to tell them? Say, look, this is what you got to do, and you're not going to make it just playing those bars and restaurants.
Well, you know what? I don't know that I have anything that's going to make a huge difference. I really don't know. I'd say, be true to who you are, first of all. Don't do it because you want to be famous.
Yeah.
I think I remember reading something with Ernest Tubb, where Ernest Tubb was asked, what do I need to do to become famous? And he said, become well known in your hometown first. Like
Oh,
just concentrate on the local. And it's, that applies to different things as well. It's like network with the people in your music scene, because it turns out you'll probably meet somebody who knows somebody outside of that music scene, and that the community is really, it's kind of small. It's just spread out in a way, right? There's always somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. And I often say that it's all about who you know. We're very big on getting, if we're having like special shows, like our Christmas shows and whatever, getting acts from out of town, come on in and then we introduce them to other people. So just be kind to other musicians, network. Don't go into it thinking you're going to be famous or needing to be famous. Go into it because you love the music, you love the community, and hopefully something will come from that.
yeah, that's cool. Because I
Yeah.
have to agree with you on that one, Tom, because
Yeah.
I've now that I just plugging and banging the brick dust out of my forehead every time I try to go forward, but I always find a connection. You know what I mean? Like there you go. The
Yep.
bass player that played on your record, met and saw him there at FMO, and somebody else that I met that was somebody I interviewed, and I went, "Oh, you were there," that kind of thing. So
And
you're right. It's
generally,
small.
I have found musicians are really nice people. At
Hmm.
least most of them are. So don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be
No.
afraid to say hello.
Yeah.
And like just keep making those connections. Keep upbeat. Stay positive if you can, and let the rest take care of itself. I mean, there's hard work involved, of course.
Yeah,
But
I got to say, most musicians are more responsive to you dropping them a note and saying hello than most of the supposed influencers and all that fun stuff on the internet nowadays.
that's
So
right.
if
Yeah,
you're going to choose somebody to reach out to a musician.
I agree with you.
Tom, tell the folks where they can find out more about all the musical projects that you got on the go.
I would say, well, if you go to Facebook, everything is there. Instagram, Tom Dunphy's Classic Country Music Show, just my own personal page. The Rizdales has a page on Facebook. Also, Rizdales.com will give you everything you need to know about the Rizdales, and there's a link to me there as well. Just do a Google. Just don't look for the guy who just passed away recently.
Yeah, I don't
That's
need that.
not me.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't want to see that. That's for sure.
No, no.
Excellent. Tom, thank you so much for coming on the program. I really do
Well, thank you.
appreciate it.
It was a real thrill.
Thank you.